finally finishing my crochet filet heart sweater. This project taught me a lot, from color planning to filet crochet and making peace with mistakes. This project really stretched me. If you're working on a garment or about to start one, come along and crochet with me. If you like cozy crochet vlogs, real-time projects, and crochet on the go tips, make sure to like and subscribe this video. It really helps my channel grow and help other crocheters along their journey. This was my first time using hand-dyed yarn for an entire garment, and honestly I was really nervous. To keep the color changes with the variegation, I used sticky notes after I wound the yarn into cakes from their hanks, which was also something I learned, so that I could keep the variegation consistent. I crocheted in a way where I pulled from the inside of the cake and outside of the cake to maintain evenness in the rows. So my front and back have even rows, and then when I moved on to the sleeves with the leftovers, I did that again with my cakes. So I was very happy with how I was able to spread out different colors of hanks in this colorway milkshake from Hue Loco. And I'm super excited. You've caught me at the moment where I've weaved in all my loose ends, and I am about to make some decisions on how to crochet these sleeves onto the body. The decisions I'm really thinking about is the color again. This was my first official filet crochet. I had worked a few wraps, but not understanding that that's what it was. So with filet crochet, usually there is a grid that tells you where to chain and open up the hearts. My pattern motif was a heart. There's diamonds, all kinds of fun things. The shawl that I was working on was a dragonfly, and honestly, I'm still in progress with that one. That was intimidating. And it wasn't a written pattern, it was a YouTube tutorial. I was crocheting this project during some work meetings, while a friend was over visiting, and I made mistakes. It happens. So I did have to frog it a couple times to make sure that the rows were correct. One of the biggest mistakes I made was when I got to the top to do my red hearts, I actually forgot to alternate. So I had 3 hearts like right above this row instead of alternating them. So that was a nice little learning and reminder to pay attention. Wearing red is part of Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week. And normally when you wear red in February, people don't think much of it. This garment is meant to bring conversation. When people compliment me or ask me about my crochet, I'm going to be able to tell them a little bit about why I crocheted it and what it means to me to wear red in February. And the week of February 7th through 14th is Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week. I am still learning to read patterns. I watched Tony Lipsky's Yarn Crafts video on how to read patterns about a year ago, and that was helpful to get me started. And I've taken a few classes at my local craft store with also using patterns. But I do have to say, like, it is another language. So if you are new to crochet, just watch some videos if you're a visual learner, or go to your local craft store. This was actually the first time I gauged and swatched a project, and that was really helpful to help me figure out what crochet hook I wanted to use and size pattern I wanted to use. It sounds silly, but in the pattern, the 3X size was written in purple. My crochet hook, 4mm, is purple. And so I kind of just like, I hope that's meant to be, and stuck with my favorite color, purple. I've got that 3X worked up. I forgot to grab my scissors, and I've weaved in my ends, and I made a few tweaks. So one of the tweaks I made was I didn't put the ribbing on at the very bottom. That was part of the pattern, was to start with the ribbing and go bottom up. I actually prefer making garments top down because of my size and my size changing. This is a box pattern with boxy sleeves. I was very unsure I wanted to drape and lay. This is also one of my first projects with DK yarn. All the other sweaters I've made are weight 4, mostly acrylic. This is my first wool, first DK. Not doing the ribbing on the bottom meant I did a foundation double crochet, which was not part of the pattern, but I added that for a base. And then I continued on and decided that I would utilize the current skein of variegated yarn to complete the next full row of double crochet. Each heart row is actually a different hank or skein. So that's kind of cool, for me at least to know. Having all these colors so that this piece feels versatile. I'm not just wearing it in February for red and for hearts. What a fun summer piece if I'm going to the mountains and it's very springy. In the fall, there's lots of browns. I could easily put on a brown tank top, a brown t-shirt underneath, and it just feels warm, cozy. Those are some of the tweaks I made on the bottom. The tweaks on the top are, in this variegated piece, this full row of double crochet was part of the yarn, the bottom, the skein on the bottom. So when I switched from this light hank to the red, I did a swatch really quickly, or a couple rows, and noticed that the hole on the bottom for the heart was not, it like looked really weird up against the light color. So I laid a base and another additional double crochet row. When I ended with the double crochet row at the top, I realized this would be the top of my shoulder blade. The hearts would be super high up here and you wouldn't see them well. This red is the basis of the whole project and I wanted the reds to stand out. It's difficult to see filet crochet with multiple colors, but with the semi-solid cherry color, you can see the hearts really well in the filet. I wanted more length on top of the shoulder, so I added 2 full rows of double crochet on either side. So now this sits on top of my shoulder and then the hearts start further down. And that way they'll be able to be seen much better. I also decided, as I was looking through other pieces and other patterns, that I actually didn't want a ribbed neckline. I wanted something more simple and minimal because, again, the yarn is speaking in this project. The yarn is the color. So I just did some simple single crochet around this. It was kind of a box boat neck. And what I ended up doing on the last, so I think it was 4 rows of single crochet. The first 2 or 3, I just left them the same. I skipped over these little corners. I actually used a decrease, single crochet decrease on the corners to help round it out a little bit. Collars and necklines are still very new to me, so this was a bit of a gamble, but I like the simplicity of it. It feels clean and it helps the hearts really stand out and the color of the yarn really stand out. So that was a fun tweak to the pattern. We're finishing this in real time, so more decisions to be made. These 2 pieces will be used to help me sew these. I had a crazy idea. Oh, this is so cool. It already feels so cozy. Okay, we've got the red. And let's flip it. Always use stitch markers. This is where the seam is. Not a lot of hearts right here. This is where I changed yarn and changed rows. So that's going to go at the bottom when I seam it up, just like that. And so this is the wrong side out. I can flip this over to be the wrong side just in case we're going to stitch. The top seam was a simple single crochet, nice and strong and sturdy. That was part of the pattern, so I just went with it. And, you know, single crochet is basic, fast. What is a little bit trickier is sewing. I don't mind it. I grew up sewing. I know it's kind of controversial to some people. They don't like it. Honestly, though, I invested a couple dollars in this darning needle, thread needle with the tip. It's metal. In the past, I've gotten plastic because my daughter likes to play with them and call them screwdrivers. So I've kept these well hidden and up high, but I want to make sure the ends are weaved in well. So that is a good thing to have. And I'll be using it to whip stitch. Now I did not block. Some people block before they seam things together. That's not going to happen with me because I want to wear this ASAP. It's almost Valentine's Day. It's the week of congenital heart defect awareness. And I haven't worn my sweater anywhere yet. All right, so the thought is adding the additional rows really helped this feel more intentional, this big block of color. Design-wise, I'm happy I did that. If I want to do another color block, is that wild? It feels a little wild. My other idea, I've got the red and so I can whip stitch this together using yarn that's already matching, okay? I'm gonna have this crease where it goes red, 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 and then light color. Fine. Then I'm getting to the sleeves. This is where it's interesting to decide on how I want to do the sleeves. I have a couple of hexagon granny cardigans, and if the sleeves are big, I find myself hitting things and I don't want to eat with my cardigan on because the food's dripping it. Y'all, I'm real. It just, sometimes things don't wear well. Sometimes they're meant to look pretty. I want this to be wearable. I want this to, you know, maybe go out for some ice cream. Have a milkshake with some sprinkles and chocolate. So I do believe I'm gonna put a ribbing on the cuff. I might add some double crochet of these solid, semi-solid colors. Originally, I liked the brown for the bottom and the pink for the cuffs. I just have to try it out. I won't really know until I do it because I'm still new at this and it's not something I can quite visualize, but brown on the bottom has always been the plan, and pink on the cuffs felt nice too. And y'all, maybe I just need to like go for it. Add a row or two of the semi-solid, then build out ribbing so it tightens up and isn't flopping around in my food. It's real that these beautiful hearts will be caught on a door handle, a hook, something, but they're so beautiful and fun, and it was so fun to whip up. Let's try this whip stitch business. Let's do it. In the moment, real time. Did I weave in the red yet? No, I haven't woven in the red yet, so we'll do that in real time as well. I do really appreciate when you can make something your own. So many things that you look up online, even though this fast fashion world creates new items, let's be honest, with fast fashion, you are going to find the same thing over and over again. This is an Old Navy t-shirt. I was really happy to find it. Finding solid color shirts at the thrift store is not easy to do. I will say that. I don't know if I mentioned that when I was weaving in my ends, I kept them on the wrong side so that I was reminded what was the wrong side. And it also helped me make sure that I knew which ones were woven in. Nice thing about this cherry color is that I don't have to find, well, that's not a good example. Okay, down here. This is a pink, so I tried to weave it in all the pinks down here. I made sure they were far enough apart. Little tips that helped me get through this. Like, some people really need a counter. I like counting. Is that weird? I think the bottom of this was 120 stitches, maybe 40 stitches. I don't remember, but I did some counting a couple times. The cool thing about filet crochet is you have the same stitches between chains and gaps. I really started to get the pattern of the heart, and I didn't have to think about it once I got up here. It was really simple. It was like, oh, there's 2 here, so I know I'm going to have 1 on this side, 1 on that side. I know that this is going to be 6 stitches in the middle. Well, this one's 8, so it's kind of funky. I have to make sure that I have 1 chain empty here, 1 chain empty here. I'm going to do a double, 6 doubles into stitches and a double into the chain. That's going to make my 8. This is 3, 2, 3. That adds up to 8. Like, is it weird? I like patterns. I have done a lot of random weaving, and now I'm starting to realize that maybe not bad. I mean, it's really close to the neckline, so that's why I wanted to make sure. Oh, see, I can see this. I can see where I weaved it, and it's popping out. All right, so this one, this was the end. We're going to attach this. In the pattern, the designer linked to a tutorial for how they seams them together. They work from the bottom up. I might just do the arm first. Feels a little crazy pants. Everything's inside out, wrong side out. I love it. It's so good. We've got red double. Here's the single crochet. And we're going to, I don't know how this is going to Oh, this is freaking me out. I should weave in this end too. One more end. I should use the stitch marker so I know where the seam is. I'm gonna try and weave in a little bit farther up the body too, so I don't get too much bunching on some of these items. I'm gonna call that good. Boom, boom, boom. I did a little tug. Call it good. Both of these are wrong side out. Here I go. I'm gonna just do a little tug tug. This is what the pattern designer did. She did not count at all. It makes me a little nervous. Why is this scaring me? I'm making an executive decision. I'm gonna grab some more stitch markers. I'm sure this is not nearly enough stitch markers, but we're gonna try this. Let's see the bottom. Okay, we've got some rows here, so I'm gonna try and make sure this is the full double crochet row. That is not the full double crochet row, so let's figure that part out first. There's the open, the top of the open. This is the full double, and this is the full row of doubles. So I'm gonna at least mark those as the underarm. So there's some sort of symmetry, even though I see the stitch marker. Sometimes you just gotta do it. So there's the bottom. This is where the seam is, the sleeve, the bottom and the sleeve. I actually do want it a little bit further down. Yikes! We're gonna do one more row. I've marked on the sleeve where the red is, and I'm gonna turn this over as much as I can to mark the other sleeve. That was very, very scientific and very official. Okay, so let's just pause for a moment. When you're on Ravelry and you're on Pinterest and you're looking at all these beautiful crochet patterns, and you're like, oh, so easy, make a box. And then you realize you're plus size and you need to buy twice as much yarn, and you need to work with big old chunks of yarn. I mean, I know people are making blankets, and sure, yeah, whatever, fine. But if you're a garment maker and you want to wear your stuff and you want to be the artist that gets compliments, then you got to do like the extra work, and it sucks. Okay, a little rant over. It doesn't suck that bad. This is big. This is heavy. This is a lot. What? Ooh. Okay. I see the chain open here. I'm going to make this equal. Okay. If I sew this way, I'm going to start with the red first. We've got this red yarn over here. Okay, so there's, I'm just going to go pretty low tech here. Just double knot it. Then I'll weave that in later. Back to my needle and go front to back, front to back, front to back, front to back. I am not sure this is going to be the most secure, but it's what's happening right now. Front to back. When I'm done with this red part, I'll go ahead and turn it inside out and kind of look at how it turned out. I'm trying to keep, so when you have a double crochet on this side, like there's not open stitches, I'm trying to do 2 whip stitches per row to maintain similar sizing. Again, you know, if you're like a lifetime crocheter and you're watching this video, thanks. I hope I'm just entertaining, because I definitely am still learning how to crochet. But it's fun, and this project was so meaningful to me that I wanted to share it with you all. I think it's important to create items with meaning, not just to create them. I really want to love this sweater. I want to wear it all the time when it's cold. Now right now I'm hot. This little yarn piece of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. If we just flip it like this. Flip, oh gosh. Do you know when you have to like flip a cake over? I've lost my yarny. You know what? I'm going to double up in this stitch because I want to make sure the top is nice and secure. Let's triple up. That's where a lot of the weight of the garment is going to be. So yeah, hopefully triple wasn't too overload. I hope you can see it in the camera. Oh, it's all twisted. That's intriguing. Never had that happen. I'm going to keep whip stitching this together, give you a little update later on as to how it all went. I was really hoping I would finish it before this video ended, but clearly this was not a 30-minute finish. Not a 30-minute finish. I did a good job on guessing. Oh, that's so good. I'm proud of myself. Are you proud of me? I'm proud of me. Awesome. Now I'll take the lighter yarn and I'll do the under part. Cool. All right, I'm gonna stop this recording and catch you up later. All right, we have come to the end-ish. So I'm really working with done is better than perfect on this sweater right now. This is the week of the Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week, and I want to wear this sweater to our ballroom dance practice tonight. Some things that I don't love yet are the cuffs. I did a single crochet around and then built the ribbing exactly off of the count of double crochet on this side. So then I went, okay, I'll do a decrease. And I only decreased every 5 stitches, and I need to decrease more. My goal was to have the cuff keep the sleeve nice and puffy and keep it from covering my hands. I am a little sad that the sleeves are longer, so there's a possibility that before I wear this out on Saturday for Valentine's Day, I may try to frog this little tiny lighter piece of hearts. So I talked about how each heart is a different variegation of yarn. I think it also might help blend with the red because this is so light that this tank has a little bit more pink to it, a little bit more color, and it might help blend and be less of a drastic contrast. I mean, I'm kind of feeling that. Like, see how that's just a little bit more fun? Look how much, like that's the right size for me, right? Especially after, if I block this sucker, it might get bigger. So I definitely need to shorten the sleeves if I want this to be a functional piece. Right now it's a beautiful piece, but I'm not gonna go eat a burger. What actually will align a lot better with this second row, this skein doesn't line up with this skein, so it kind of makes sense to let that go now that I'm wearing it, looking at it, talking through it. So having this pulled up creates a smoother transition from the red to the color. And then I do think that it actually will just like match up. The hanks will just get closer in color and feel a little bit more cohesive. I'm not sure about the neckline still. Like right now I'm wearing a red shirt under the red, so you may or may not see the single crochet neckline. I may match the neckline to the ribbing or vice versa. Not entirely sure. Ribbing and necklines, the finishing aspects of garments are still very new to me. I did tweak the pattern. I kind of like having this open piece at the end on the sides. It seemed enough where I can get some warmth or wear like a longer t-shirt and have that feel like a cohesive look. And then this kind of flare just gives it a little bit more texture and flow. I do have one more skein that went with the colorway that is a lighter brown. It's a little bit more like this pink chocolate. It's really interesting. And I'm just trying to decide if that will be a cuff ribbing, single crochet, or just solid double crochet. So, recap, done is better than perfect. I'm wearing this tonight so that I can celebrate and bring awareness to congenital heart defects. 1 in 100 children are born with it. But basically these surgeries have been around for only 60 years, and it's a great time to talk about the research that's needed and the commonplace that it is. Chances are you will know 1 or 2 people in your lifetime who have a congenital heart defect, especially if they're under the age of 50. Please like and subscribe my channel. It really helps me grow. If you want to see more vlogs, especially more travel vlogs, I've got some fun ones coming up where I take my crochet on the go. If you watched the other sweater video, you saw that I did build out this panel as I was waiting for my daughter to finish ballet class. So taking your crochet on the go is one of my favorite things. It's why I built this channel, to encourage you to start conversations, bring crochet with you, and make the most of your waiting time. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. Gotta dance, gotta dance. I don't know what that dance is.